There's a little bit of GMP TV. Pedro Brito, everybody. Good evening. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. I'm a bit overexcited here, Pedro. How are you this
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Good to see you.
Still, still in the vibe of the the rally in Geneva. Is still
I
coming
bet you
down a
are.
bit.
I bet you are,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that looked incredible. There was quite the build-up, which I heard about from our friend Hugh. We have a mutual friend, Hugh, of course, who joined you going to
yes.
Geneva. You look a long way from Geneva. I think you're back in Portugal. Whereabouts are you, just to set the scene for us this morning? Beautiful, isn't
Saturday,
it?
Saturday Estrela.
Look at you. That is fabulous. Absolutely love.
Yes, in the natural park of Serra da Estrela is where I have my house of my grandparents here. But I'm
Oh,
living. I'm from Lisbon. I live in Lisbon. Yeah,
okay, but
but
you're one of those lucky Lisbonites or Lisboetas who has a place in the country to go to clear your head of all the noise of the
that's
city.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Quite right too. Well, great to have you here this morning. Can you, for people who don't know about, Geneva, that sounds like a nice holiday. You weren't, you weren't there holiday. You went, and I've been calling it like sticking it to the man. And I don't want to sort of mischaracterize it. I'd really like to find out from you what it was about, because I think it's something that does kind of divide people. It's a little bit controversial, but we can have an easygoing conversation this morning to find out what really is at stake here, and people can ask questions, and you can tell us from your own personal point of view, because you were actually there. We're not reading fake news. We're not reading a news report. We're not looking at Twitter or Telegram. We're
No.
talking to you, a man who was there because of something that's very dear to you and comes from the heart. So can you explain what it is and why you went all that way?
All right. This is start 4 years ago. I know an activist here in Portugal. When we start with the lockdowns, and I start to realize about what's going on, and so I've been for 4 years, together with other activists around the world, organizations like the Worldwide Demonstration for Freedom, Global Lookout, We Are Ready. So I've been involved for the last 4 years. So this event in Geneva was a good friend of mine from UK, Dan Austin Gregory. The one is a journalist and is one who started with the Road to Geneva project together with some people from the USA and Canada. People who's been on the front line since the beginning of this no sense thing. It's been happening for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So uh, what's happened? We joined together for the first time in the last 4 years because it was very difficult for us Europeans to join the rest of the world. I mean, we've been more connected with the people from Australia, from New Zealand, and Europe. But and it was very difficult to connect to the people in US and Canada. But this was the biggest opportunity ever. Join together the forces in US and Canada and Europe and Australia and New Zealand, because basically it was the countries who we've been attacked more for the last 4 years. And so we joined together with the organization We Are the Change in US, who is part of the people who are involved. They are activists, they are lawyers, they are doctors, famous like Robert Malone and Ryan Cole, and a lot of people, Peter McCollin, and all these people has been on the front line. So
Mhm.
basically, we joined forces for the first time, and we went to Geneva because I mean, it's where is the the WHO and the United Nations, and we basically was a good friend of mine who is an activist, who give this idea as well to go to the WHO in headquarters in Geneva. And we organized this. It was like in 5 weeks. We organized this in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, 5 weeks. Took 5 weeks for us to organize this. So and we tried to spread all over Europe and all over the world. I mean, and we did, but we've been a bit censored as well. But we did a great job. We did a great job because We put everybody together. All this, I mean, was very amazing to see all the different countries around the world all together as one, because this is the message we try to pass to the people for the last 4 years: is united. Humanity needs to be united as one. The problem here, for the last 4 years, is the political exploitation. They try to always to come inside to divide and conquer, and
Hmm.
this is what is being happen as well in this organization. So, but we keep moving on. The rally in Geneva. It was, I mean, the energy, it was creating by the people. We are like all connected as one, and it was amazing to see. I mean, it was very emotional, because very, very emotional for every single person there, because we met people who lost relatives, and the sons and the daughters and everything. People come from all over the world who've been trying to fight for the freedom and try to tell the world what's going on. And it was very emotional times, but it was beautiful. I mean, in the same time, it was beautiful and emotional, and I'm still like, sometimes I feel like, like a really, I don't know, something inside of me. But yes, we did the job, we did pass.
Pedro, can I pause you for a minute there, because I want to rewind a little bit and get a bit of context on this, because
Okay.
you've been referring to the last 4 years, and the sentiment you're expressing about how people have been. This is not a new political tactic, is it, to divide and rule people? That goes back a lot further than the last 4 years. This is just standard practice political division. It's a tried and trusted formula to have people fight each other rather than maybe address the forces that are actually very influential and undermining on their lives. There's nothing new about that. But what you seem to be saying, that something more sinister or accelerated has been going on in the last 4 years. And that's where we come to these organizations, isn't it? Like the World Health Organization and the sort of globalistic interventions or forces at work in our health, in our lives, how there was a global lockdown effectively, that we took on good faith. Most people, and now, in this particular conversation that we're having, people might say, well, we had to do all of these things because we didn't know what was happening, and we did it in good faith, and people believe that they did it in good faith, and that it didn't kind of work out in many ways, and things are coming to light now, aren't they, that on reflection, these weren't great things to do. And where people felt forced to do things, they're also resentful about the choices that were made on their behalf and that haven't worked out particularly well. But for a lot of people, it's like, well, it was a global panic, it was a global pandemic, we had to react, and that's just what happens. But you're talking about something altogether more sinister, perhaps, or coercive, or organized behind the scenes, dividing humanity, if you like, in the way that you've put it. And of course, you were part of, you were part of this, which was the beginnings of this, actually, in Portugal. And an expat foreigner point of view, here in Portugal, people went along with what was going on because they didn't know any better. That's how the Good Morning Portugal show was started. We wanted to be responsible, decent, good foreigners and find out what was going on, translate that into English, and help support people in what was a very difficult and scary time. Tell me more about what you think went on in that 4 years, the 4 years that, as you've put it, that so inspired you to go to Geneva to take on the World Health Organization, for example. And thanks, Owen, who sent something in about this. Why were you inspired to go to the World Health Organization? Why aren't you just giving them the benefit of the doubt? They're trying to organize things globally, and everything's fine. It just didn't work out as well as they hoped.
Okay. Basically, the World Health Organization, the WHO, the reason we went there is because what they're trying to be doing, all with these new rules they want to make it happen, and because we know I mean, we know the thing is, it's quite hard for people who not been involved in the movement. I'm not only been involved in the movement for the last 4 years. I've been for 25 years. You know, I live outside. I live outside Portugal for 25 years,
Mhm.
and I've been connecting with people who are awakening for what is coming.
Yes.
So for it's quite hard. I mean, to explain to people who are listening to me at this moment, people who don't understand what's going on, and it's very hard because
Yes.
this is what they've been doing to the people around the world. I mean, the media manipulated the humanity for, I mean, for a wrong, to the wrong side, and we're
Yes.
trying to expose to the right side and evidence of what's happened for the last 4 years.
Mhm.
So why the WHO? Because it's where it's coming everything now. I mean, they are preparing already a few things.
Mhm.
People don't know because they are doing everything behind of our backs.
Yes.
What they've been doing. Everything has been on our behind on our backs, and the televisions and all the media, they don't tell what is going on.
Yes.
Okay, but everything what is coming next, we already know what they are preparing for. So we are in front of a lot of people. Okay, to try to awakening this society. Okay, is being indoctrinated by media around the planet. They've been lying to the people, all right? And so we are the ones who have to be on the front line, because otherwise, what is going to happen to humanity? You know what I mean? We are here for the children. The children is the most important thing in the world for us, you
Yeah.
know, because they are the ones who are staying in this planet for the future. And so we are trying to do our job. We're not conspiracy theorists, nothing like that at all. We're just trying to show the people what's going on, because we cannot trust these people who are behind things, you know, making billions and trillions of dollars, okay, from, you know, enslaving the planet to enslaving the world.
Okay, tell me
You know
about
what I
that.
mean?
So the idea is that something is coming, that there is a way of being manipulating people that isn't in their best interest, as you would see it. What how would you characterize that? How can you describe that to us? What you think is coming? I mean, in many ways, I have a great sense and agree with you. You know, we're seeing similar patterns, aren't we, to what we saw at the beginning of the pandemic? You know, there's a outbreak of this or that, and we've got something organized to deal with it, and people need to do X, Y, and Z, and there are very similar things afoot, aren't there? And
Cop,
whenever I,
cop, copy paste.
yeah, it would appear so. It would appear so. But what do you think is coming then? You describe it as something's coming and there's an awakening. Tell me more about.
Yes, what was is coming? I mean, because a lot of things has been happening around the world in the right side of the history is being censored. So it's been very difficult for us to try to tell the world what's going on. I mean, it's impossible. I'm here in this village here in Serra da Estrela. You know,
Yes.
uh, I mean, these people are living in a different world when I try to speak to him about something. But it's not them, you know, it's because they hear too much TV and they listen too much TV, and that's it. They are blocked. So basically, what we've been trying to say, like what you're asking, you know, this kind of this grain awakening, as an example, what has been happening now in Japan. 95% of the people around the planet, they don't know what's going on in Japan. Japan is going to be the place where I've been saying since the beginning, is going to be in a domino effect, is where it's going to kick off. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people are marching in Tokyo, okay, every single week. The main doctors, lawyers, and very important people in Japan, all right, they are preparing to stop the country, to show the world what the government, the globalists governments, they're trying to come again with a new virus, with a new pandemic, to stop again the planet with a new vaccine. They's already preparing the government in Japan, and now these doctors, lawyers, and the population in Japan. All right. Last week when we went out to Geneva, it was hundreds of thousands of them on the streets in Tokyo. Do you ever, everybody, nobody talks about? They are preparing to stop, and they're going to say no, and I believe it's going to start from there to show the world what's going on, what they are preparing, the pandemic X, what they are preparing for the next attack on humanity. And I hope humanity this time are awake for what they're doing, because we have these people behind scenes, the deep state. Nobody see it, who they are, the BlackRock, all these big guys who are investing in all this pharmaceutical industry to try to take over everything. This is all about money and about enslaving the humanity. So I hope next, when I start in Lisbon 4 years ago with other people, because I'm a chef. I don't have nothing to do with like
Not a politician. Right.
I'm a chef, but and other people with bars and restaurants in Portugal, they're the ones who really start to go on the streets, because we're the ones who've been attacked the first.
Yeah.
Everything's closed down, and all of that. It was 40 people. We went to 10,000 people on the streets afterward.
This is in Portugal, is it?
Was in Lisbon.
Yeah, but
When
you think,
every,
yeah, this is something
whenever,
we're not
sorry,
aware
sorry, sorry.
of. We're trying to, no, not at all. But I mean, it's very interesting. As I said to you before, it was a frightening time because of the way it was portrayed. And when you're a foreigner in a country and you don't quite understand the culture, we were at a particular disadvantage, or in a different place to understand what was going on. And in my own country, I could see freedom marches and could understand a little bit of the nuances of what was going on. But in Portugal, I think you have a very compliant population here, right? People are told what to do and they do it
Yes,
really
yes,
speak. And I was very,
definitely. You're right. Yeah,
and I
you're
was
right.
very, and that's not a criticism, in many
No,
ways.
you're right. You're right. You're right. But
Yeah.
that is what I felt. You know what I mean? I'm ashamed of that, because these
Right.
people, all right, they've been uh, for 48 years been with the dictatorship. In 74, my parents, they was like me. I mean, I'm like my parents. They've been fighting before 74,
Right.
the revolution, and I'm like a bit like them. But what I'm ashamed of is these people. They've been for 48 years in the dictatorship, and they complain afterwards. I mean, the Germans, they was the same. You know what I mean? Exactly the same. You look German, they complain everything. But is a big number of people in Portugal. I mean, I will tell you now. On our rallies, I will say the beginning, when was 7,000, 8,000, went to 10,000, was about 1,500, 2,000 foreigners went to the rallies
Yeah.
from the
Right.
north to the south, especially the British from Algarve, from the north, and from all around. But it was very difficult for us, because we've been censored. For the last 4 years, I lost my pages, I lost my professional page, I lost jobs, I lost everything
Wow.
myself, because I put myself on the front line. I lost, like other people like with me, they lost everything. We've been attacked until when they put us down, but with me, that will never happen. So we made the best we could to try to make our own propaganda, like posters, the old-fashioned way, because the only way we could do it, and we did it. And people, it was buses coming from different parts of Portugal to the rallies, and we did parties on the streets when people was locked down in the houses. They call me fascist, they call me neo-Nazi, they
Really?
call me everything.
Yes. It is fascinating, isn't it? And you're clearly retaining a sense of humanity and a sense of humor about this. I want to ask you, kind of in conclusion, really, and what's the practical thing that can be done here? Because I don't think you're alone in this at all.
No
And people have a kind of a, whatever they think, there's still that ever-present shadow, isn't there, of the media and the common
fear.
the fear. I guess yeah, it's fear-based, isn't it? But there is a general normal representation of what's going on and what society is. And whilst that's true, there are also a number of people, I think, and a growing number of people who, as you put it, would be awakening or thinking, hold on a minute, this doesn't make sense. This didn't work very well. And now we might be doing it again. And maybe there are some agendas at work here. And you said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but people you can understand why people would call you that, given what you're articulating, this particular scenario that's unfolding. If it's true, how do you face that how are you keeping your sense of humor and your sense of humanity when so much is kind of going against you and you're being called these terrible names, and clearly you're not that guy, you're something
No.
else. You're actually, to the person who's calling you a fascist and probably every other political thing on the spectrum, you're what I sense you're doing is trying to help that name caller live in a freer, more healthy, happier world whilst they're calling you that name. How are you doing that? How are you and your colleagues and the freedom fighters, as it were, staying sane? And what's your game plan for embracing people rather than creating more division in the world?
This is all about the united humanity. This is all about to the people once for all to understand where we are.
Yes.
That's why we are called, this is the great awakening for humanity. Because never, ever this happened in this planet. Never like something like this, okay? It's always been movements around the world for pro this, pro that, pro that. Yeah, but the thing is, we have to understand the world where we are. Majority of the groups around the planet, they are paid, and they have from from big companies, and they are part of the system. All right, this was the first ever movement around the planet. Is not being it's not being like control opposition. All right, what you call, because this is like me, it's people like me, people like you, normal people. All right, for the last 4 years, for example, to say to you, I spent thousands of euros from my pocket. I don't get that money back, but I
Yes.
don't care, because at the end of the day, I'm fighting for the children of this planet to get, you know what I mean? Because they're the ones who's going to suffer from these uh, oligarchs. They're trying to enslave the planet, and people were only going to. I'm telling you this from the heart now. The people in this planet, the only way they're going to wake up is when they lose everything. And when they don't have money for food, and when the starvation coming to the planet, that is when they're going to wake up. But this is a purpose for that, all right? Because that is when the only way humanity will get together as one, all right, and move on. You know what I mean? Because the things is, we see the energy around the planet the way the people are at the moment, all right? They're fighting each other. You know what I mean? Because TV, if you switch the TV off, and this is for everybody, if every single person in this planet switch the TV on off, everything will finish in one day. All right?
You might be
You
right.
know,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Because the thing is, the fear they put on people. That is what's the attack. That is the virus. Is the
Yeah.
fear. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So what they've been doing for the last 4 years is fear and fear. Because who pays for the media is the globalists, is the oligarchs. They own all, the Black Rocks and all the Vanguards and all these big companies around the planet who they trying to enslave the humanity. And this is the thing. This is a wake up call, because what I say for the last 4 years, this was a test. This was a test to see how humanity is going to comply. All
Yeah.
right, and they comply. You know what I mean? I'm not here against anybody. I'm here against the people who is trying to control the powerful people in this planet. Do you know what I mean? To trying to enslave us. I'm not born in this planet to be slave. I'm a freedom citizen, like you, like anybody, and I don't want to be controlled to tell me what I have to do or put inside of my body. All
Yeah.
right? And this is the thing. We have to be strong as humanity, because they are only few. We are 8 billion. We are 8 billion. And that is where the people have to understand. You know what I mean? So when we are getting all together, is finished, is the end. We finish this in one day if you want. But people have to be strong. People have to understand this is the great awakening for humanity, to get us once together, united.
Well, thank
Because
you.
this is the thing, mate.
Thank you, Pedro. And the Sky of the Shires here, one of our regulars, the super rich are out of control, the same elites who were the slavers, traders, and the bankers who want to own and control everything. I mean, that's recognizable throughout human history. And, for the staunchest critic of what you're saying, there do seem to be some patterns that are hard to ignore. Most conspiracies, he continues, in the last few years have been proven correct thanks to independent journalists and professionals. And Sandra, new name to our screen. Thank you for being here, Sandra. We've got Antonio Marques as well with a thumbs up. And Sandra saying in conclusion here, thank you, Pedro, for all you've been doing for all of us. And I'll add my thanks to you for that and for being here this morning, Pedro. What if people want to learn more about your approach, what you're proposing, what you're talking about, and how to get involved practically? What's the best way to do that?
Just to get connected. I mean, we are preparing the next rally, for in New York. It's going to be. I mean, it's quite difficult now because we are traveling to the places where they are. Now we have to go to the places where they are inside to try to do, because September the 22nd is going to be the UN security for the world. I mean, they're going to talk about security. They're going to talk about what they're going to do next to us. All right. Okay. And it's on the 22nd of September. We're going to be in New York. This is going to be huge because it's going to be all the frontline people in Canada and the US. Who, all these people has been in Geneva, but much more. And we are going to try to get the most of the people in Europe. I mean, Dan Austin Gregory, the guy who organized the British journalist, the road to Geneva, we're going to do the road to New York. I mean, it's not going to be road to New York because, you know what I mean? But it's going to be something similar. And tonight I'm going to be on the Zoom meeting with the organization. So we are moving on. We are not stopping now. This is going to grow, I believe. And yes, people, if you want to get in touch with me or whatever, we have the channel on Telegram. The Road to Geneva channel is called O Caminho para Genebra in Portuguese. Portuguese, I can pass to you until you can put that on.
Well, Pedro, if anybody wants to get in touch with you and they're struggling to do so, I'm very happy to connect you on WhatsApp. Pedro is very open, been very giving and helpful with the lead up to this interview. So thanks very much, mate, for being here. Appreciate it. It looks lovely where you are. All the best to you in your endeavors.
Thank you very much.
And the fight for freedom and the love of the children of the future, as you put it, which is a wonderful sentiment, of course. And what I'll do, if I may, this is a video we've been playing for a long time in our appreciation of the Carnation Revolution. And I know that there's a sort of poignancy about that, isn't there? That 50 years after the Carnation Revolution, we find ourselves perhaps in the situation you're describing. However, there's something really wonderful about the words that were spoken on this video of 1.5 minutes, which is all about the thirst for freedom, overcoming all fears, which I think is exactly what you're talking about. So for those of you in your movement and concerned about humanity in this time, here's something that refers to the Carnation Revolution and what happened 50 years ago here in Portugal. So thanks again. Muito obrigado, Pedro. Muito prazer.
Obrigado. Prazer. Tchau, tchau. Obrigado.
On the 25th of April, the MFA announced that the people should remain at home because they feared armed confrontations on the street. But the Portuguese population clearly disobeyed the military orders to stay at home because the thirst for freedom overcame all fears. And so people took the streets to the thousands and supported the military coup to force the resignation of the leader of the regime. The people brought red carnations and distributed them to the soldiers, who stuck them in their rifle barrels, making the flower the symbol of the revolution. The revolutionary process of 74 and 75 was one of the liveliest experiences in Portuguese history. In 19 months, there were 2 failed coups, 6 provisional governments, the process of independence of the colony, several mass strike waves, demonstrations, occupations of thousands of houses, a profound agricultural reform, occupations of land, the creation of workers' cooperatives, workers' councils, trade unions, neighborhood commissions, self-managed factories, businesses, offices, newspapers, and radio. Because the thirst for freedom overcame all fears.